Hey y'all, another day and another Vixen video. So one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting about getting to know this machine is since the drives are such high capacity at 390 kilobytes apiece, which is way in excess of what any previous Osborne CPM machine had, they economized a little bit on shipping the software. With the older machines, you would receive a disk that had Wordstar on it, and a disk that had mail merge on it, and a disk that had SuperCalc on it, and a disk that had Basic on it, and a disk that had CPM System on it, and a disk that had CPM Utilities on it, and the list goes on and on and on. But it'd be individual disks for individual things, because, like, especially in the case of the Osborne 1, you had 92K floppy drives, so it was really necessary to have so many disks. Rather than ship out individual disks for each of those things with the Vixen, what they did was power this guy up here. So here's my master. I don't have the original disks for this, but I have images of them. So this is the same disk as what would have been shipped for Wordstar and SuperCalc, and also has mail merge and other support stuff on it as well. So if we go ahead and boot this guy up. Come on, focus. I picked this camera because it could focus on the screen. Okay, there we go. So, rather than booting into a prompt or just starting the program, which is what the older versions of the machine and their software would do, this one comes with TurnKey, which is a menuing system, which has a whole bunch of submit files that run special stuff for you. Now, because you wouldn't want to just do a disk track copy, sector copy or what have you, from one drive to the other, just to get Wordstar on another disk and have a little bit of extra room to put some data on it without having to use the B drive for data as well, you would have to format a blank disk, put the operating system on the blank disk, configure the operating system to work with Wordstar, and et cetera, et cetera. And so then you would have to copy all these files, and you'd have to know which files to copy, and you'd have to know how to copy files, individual files, or with masks in CPM, which is a little bit tricky, especially for a new user. So what they did, and I have this disk sitting here already pre-labeled. This will be my Wordstar disk, and I will pop it into the B drive. And what they did is they gave us this option down here for create a Wordstar program diskette on number 6. So we'll go ahead and run this command. That will launch SuperSub, which is a submit, which is kind of like batch files or Bourne shell script or something like that. And it's going to go through and automatically drive the computer for us. It's telling us that we need to put a blank disk in drive B and press return, which we did. And so now it's running through all that. And it's formatting the B drive. I didn't have to know that you run copy to format. I didn't have to know, didn't have to specify any of the options to the program. It just started doing it. And I really apologize for how jittery this is. I'm trying to be close up to the monitor enough to where you can read it. And this phone can't go onto a tripod, so doing my best here. So it'll get done formatting this floppy here in a second, and when it does, it's going to do the next step of what you would have to do manually on an older machine. Now, of course, you can still do this stuff manually. You don't have to do it this way. You might be a little crazy if you did, because this is just so absolutely simple that it just makes it really easy. So now we're going to the next step. It's going to tell us that it's going to copy the operating system to the drive in B, and wants us to hit enter, or return, whatever they're going to call it. And so it goes off to run the sysgen, which copies it over to B. And then it's going to copy the Wordstar support files over, so we got to get ready for that. Now this is the part that I thought was most interesting. It's going to enter a bunch of pip commands into the keyboard buffer using the stack command. Now pip is the way that you copy individual files and do redirection to alternative devices and stuff like that. Every pip command can only include one destination, which in this case is B:, and one file name or wildcard mask, which, you know, you see those popping up there. That one was su star.star, sy star.star, w star.star, x star.star. And so it's putting all that in there, and it says, okay, the file operation is going to take a few minutes. Please sit back and enjoy the show. It starts pip, and pip starts automatically copying all these specified masks, wildcard masks. Yeah, again, I'm really sorry for the jittery camera. This is, out of my 3 cameras, this is the only one that actually focuses on the CRT. You can read the text. But it's going to go through and it's going to copy all these files that it needs in order to make a working standalone Wordstar disk here. It takes a little while. There's a lot of files to copy, and you know, floppy drives aren't that slow. The machine only has 64K of RAM, so it's not like it can buffer up a really huge chunk of the data before it moves it over. So it does as much as it can, but as much as it can isn't a whole lot. So we spend a lot of time waiting for a disk drive to spin back up and make sure that it's on the right track and collect the data, and yeah, all of that adds up in the amount of time that it takes for this to finish. But if we had a machine with larger RAM and a pip that understood how to use that RAM, it could read the entire file possibly into memory and then write that entire file out altogether to the B drive. So that's trucking along. It's almost done. It also puts all the files onto the disk so that from that disk you can generate another Wordstar program disk if you needed to automatically, as well as run Wordstar and mail merge, configure them for your printer, and all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, one of the weird things about the Osbornes, and some other machines did this too, but they have programmable features for the keyboard in the ROM. You can set up function keys, so if you do like a Control 1, it'll put out whatever macro you decided to put on Control 1. Likewise, it can change what characters the arrow keys send, and there's 2 basic modes for that. There's CPM and Wordstar, and so since that caused some people problems in the past, if they had a disk that was for Wordstar and they needed to get into CPM, the backspace arrow wouldn't actually go back when you were in CPM because it wasn't sending a Control H, which is the actual backspace. It would send Wordstar's control code for moving the character back 1 non-destructively. Same thing for the other arrow keys too. So one of the other neat things that they ended up doing in this version of the Wordstar disk was when you launch Wordstar with TurnKey, it will, before launching Wordstar, it will go in, run setup on the status of what the memory has. Okay, so here we're finishing this up, and I can show you that other bit here in a second. So it's asking us to push return to go back to the original TurnKey menu. I don't want to do that. I want to restart the system. Oops. I guess I should have moved the disks first. So we'll put this newly created Wordstar disk into drive A, and we'll give it a quick boot here. And now our menu's different than what it was when I was using the master disk. So we have a couple of things here. We can format a data disk, we can back up our system, which is basically just a disk copy, run Wordstar, or run Wordstar and automatically log to the drive B, so that if you have data on the B drive and that's all you're going to do, then you can just start on the B drive, but still have all your Wordstar on the A drive, and you don't have to worry about taking that extra step once you load Wordstar. You can create a new Wordstar diskette, or you can install Wordstar for your printer, which selects what kind of printer, so that you can pick from a list, and it will initialize the printer correctly and send it the correct codes whenever you tell Wordstar to print. But what we're going to do here is we're going to run Wordstar, which is option 3. And the first thing it's going to do is it's going to run SuperSub again, and it's going to change our arrow keys over to Wordstar. So here goes setup. I just ran through that, changed the arrow keys, and now it's running Wordstar. So we can have arrow keys that work in both. Yay! And there we have it. That's a nice blank new Wordstar. So if we wanted to see, let's take a look at, we will load up non-document file, and let's pull that 21 WSTR. Wait, what? Why am I getting control keys in here? 20. I'm not hitting a control key. Well, I don't have any explanation for that. It shouldn't be doing that. The machine is, 20 plus years old, and it had some problems that I had to fix. But, running out of time here anyway, I'll try and see if I can figure out why it thinks that I'm hitting Control K between those. Now it's not doing it. Okay, so 21 WSTR A dot sub. We'll go ahead and get it to load up this non-document file, and that is the script that runs Wordstar. So you'll see that it stacks MB, Control M, M, Control M into setup, and then it runs Wordstar. After you get done with Wordstar, it logs you back to A and stacks MB, Control M, M, Control M back into setup, and then runs TurnKey again. And that's a pretty neat thing, I think. So anyhow, we can KQ that and get out. We can X to get back out of Wordstar, and you'll see that last bit where it goes back and it sets the keys back the way they should be. Runs through setup, and then it goes back to TurnKey. Pretty cool stuff. The machine was a little late for what the market would bear at the time, but thankfully I finally have one. I've been searching for this machine ever since it was released, and finally got me one. So pretty stoked about it. Y'all have fun out there. Bye.